Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Tuesday, October 31st.
We hired outside counsel to review the termination part of our contract.
Flagler County School Board member Will Furry says the board was looking to fire its attorney, Christy Gavin. He says they hired an outside attorney to help them with the process.
We negotiated a flat fee of $5,000 to, one, review the contract, to examine the termination area of the contract and what would be some courses of action based on that contract. But that also included one-on-one time with individual school board members, and every school board member has had access to that attorney one-on-one.
But the board voted 4-1 for Superintendent LaShaka Moore to lead negotiations for Gavin to become a staff attorney.
Myself, Shura Macero, and some attorneys representing the district and the school board, we will meet with Ms. Gavin and see if we can come to a mutual agreement, and we will move forward. This will come before the board again for final approval.
Furry cast the sole no vote.
It was brought up to find a mutual agreement, but that broke down. It came back to the board to decide how we were going to move forward, and the board's will was to pass this on to the superintendent to make that decision rather than the board. Personally, I was a little disappointed on that. I felt that was our role and it shouldn't have been passed on to the superintendent, but it's not the will of Will, it's the will of the board.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
Hotel construction should be starting momentarily, likely full swing next week.
Margaritaville Hotel is coming to Flagler Beach at State Road 100 between South Central and South Daytona Avenues by the end of next year. But it's not the only construction that will be happening in Flagler Beach. City Manager Dale Martin says the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Beach Renourishment Project will begin July 5th, with work happening 24/7.
The circus will come to town figuratively next July when the Corps starts to mobilize and start to stage equipment at Veterans Park. So that project will go on probably through March of 2025. So while that's going on, as soon as they move out of the downtown area, they're going to renourish the area north of the pier and then jump to immediately south of the pier and then go all the way to the south down by Gamble Rogers State Park and work their way back north.
Once the Army Corps of Engineers leaves downtown, pier reconstruction will get underway likely in mid-October of next year. The new 800-foot pier is slated for completion in February 2026.
So it'll be busy within a block of City Hall, and there will be closures on A1A, but all the restaurants, everything will be open. There will be detours imposed. Corps is going to bring in probably about close to 1,000 or 1,500 dump trucks to build the ramps to get their heavy equipment down to the beaches. So that's what necessitates the closures of some of the roads. Once that's done, then FDOT's going to come in and repave A1A after all the heavy truck traffic. So it'll be a busy 6 months from July next year through December.
Martin tells WNZF the federal government is paying for most of the work.
The beach renourishment is a long-term project. It's actually a 50-year project. And through this federal appropriation, there will be a renourishment scheduled every 11 years over the course of the next 50 years. But if there is major storm damage because of this program through the Corps of Engineers, the feds will renourish the beaches after a major storm at 100% federal cost.
You've got to treat everybody equally.
County Commissioner Dave Sullivan has been recognized for doing just that. He was awarded the Flagler County NAACP Community Engagement Award.
The George Washington Carver Center, we've been supporting that for a number of years now at the county level unanimously. We've just finished a $400,000 addition onto it over there in Bunnell. I think our public transportation system, helps people across the board. So sometimes you have to forget your little political feelings that you have and do what's best for all the people of Flagler County.
Sullivan says he was honored to be recognized at the Freedom Fund Awards luncheon on October 14th. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
How has the Flagler County Free Clinic grown in 18 years?
Terry Bolletto's the executive director of the Flagler County Free Clinic. She said on a recent episode of Lifeline that back in 2005, they didn't see patients very often, but they did see several at a time.
They were seeing 50 and 60 patients each Saturday.
Bolletto said the need was huge back then, and she said it has not changed now. The only thing that's changed is the way the patients are handled.
Now we see patients by appointment only.
Bolletto said that they will try to squeeze you in if you walk in and you have an urgent need. But appointments keep the chaos to a minimum. You can listen to Lifeline at 9 on Saturday mornings here on WNZF. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.